New game trailers are released every day. They normally show us a game that's set to be released in the future, or updates and DLC for games that are already out in the world right now. It's easy to miss them if you don't go looking, so why not showcase the new trailers as they're being released? That way we can wishlist them or buy them and show support for any games that we want to play in the future. Drop a comment below if any of these new games are up your alley, and with that being said, let's start the show. First up on the list of new trailers, we have Nephenthesys. I feel like I said that wrong, but we're gonna roll with it anyway. A top-down, vertical scrolling shoot 'em up that'll have you flying through the air in missions to take down hordes of invaders trying to take over Earth. Nephenthesys has taken inspiration from games that define the genre. I still remember playing these types of games down at arcades with a massive analog stick flying around the screen. But with updated graphics and new game mechanics, it feels like the genre has finally reached the 21st century. The boss fights do look amazing. They'll take up your entire screen as you'll need to dodge your enemies and bullets in the smallest of gaps, thread the needle while pumping out as much damage as possible. I've actually never completed one of these games. I normally run out of money towards the end of the arcade missions, but I hope I'll be able to finally save the planet in my little ship this time. Let's move along to a game I can totally get behind. This is Kusan, City of Wolves, another top-down hardcore shooter that's taken inspiration from games like Hotline Miami and Party Hard, two iconic games within the top-down shooter genre. You'll play as a veteran and a fixer when you come across a young girl who would put the whole city in danger. It's now your job to protect her though. Welcome to Kusan, a port city set in the near future of Korea. People don't roam the streets in this game. It's more like Zootopia. Animals are the ones who stalk the prey in this land filled with corruption and enemies crazed with drugs and cash. You'll need more than just luck if you're to survive around here. The game takes the best parts of a top-down shooter that we love and wraps them into one bundle of crazy chaotic joy, as you'll need to be agile on your feet and use weapons that you find to get the girl that you have to safety. If you've never played Hotline Miami, then firstly, you should go do that, but these games have a way of making us plan moves out so far ahead of time and repeating the game over and over until it is perfect. I really hope Kusan City of Wolves can have the same impact. Oh, what a life it would be to be a zookeeper and look after animals. I just think it would be a really fun job to look after the giraffes or the elephants, but what if one of those animals wasn't quite right? This is Zoochosis, a first-person psychological horror game that will have us never trusting animals at a zoo again. You'll need to tend to animals, check to make sure that all is groovy, and if not, then it's down to you to create a vaccine and choose to save them. When I say, is it all groovy? That's because some of these animals aren't quite normal. Let's just say they may have a few more legs than intended. The game does take some inspiration from Five Nights at Freddy's due to the fact that you've only just taken this job and this is your first night shift. Only now do you find out that some of the animals change a little after midnight. Observe the animals that have changed and figure out a way to cure them. I'm sure it's pretty easy, right? What could go wrong? The game will have multiple different endings, so choices really do matter in this game. Zoochosis won't be out for a while, which is pretty sad actually. It looks fantastic and I wish I could play it right now, but I'll keep everyone updated when we have a release date for this zookeeper's nightmare. Now this is a game that needs to be played by every single person. Cult of the Lamb is one of the best games I played last year. It took us a little while to finally play it, but oh my god, is it amazing. If you've never played the game before, you play as a cute little lamb, tasked with starting a cult to defeat 4 different bosses across 4 different realms. The cult can be as happy or as sadistic as you choose it to be, but we decided to have a happy cult, because obviously that's the best cult. Cult of the Lamb has just released one of its most fleshed out updates, the Sins of the Flesh, which is adding lots more cultist behaviour. After a certain point in the game, you'll unlock new rituals for you and your followers to partake in. Let's be honest, these aren't just singing a song or praying, they're a little bit more on the sacrificial side. As your followers get about their daily life and completing tasks for you, they will now earn sin, a new currency that you'll be able to spend on upgrading the temple, purchasing and building new shiny buildings, and adding old followers back into the cult if you kick them out. Cult of the Lamb is one of my must-play indie games when I tell people what to pick. It's got base building, resource management, a dungeon crawler, and a whole heap of crazy culty things that you can do. I'll definitely be loading this back up to show the cult my new things. 2024 is starting to be the year of surprising sequels. Prison Architect 2 has just been announced and will be here a lot sooner than I thought. The game is a building management game at its core, but the word prison kinda tells you it's not that simple. The game has broken out into 3D. One of the charms of the first was the art style. I was a huge fan, but I really do like the look of what we have going on here. Being able to see the prisoners up close and get a better understanding of what happens when someone drops the soap, the mystery will finally be solved. Choices will matter, and yours will determine the fate of your prison. More control than ever, over inmates, prison policies, architecture, and more. It means more ways for things to go well, or go badly. Plan carefully, or you may have a coup of escapees, riots, and all sorts of expensive and destructive problems. Prison Architect 2 will hopefully build on the last game and bring it to the modern generation with its cool new graphics. A mix I would never see coming is extraction shooters and neon shorts. This is Ascendant Infinity, a squad-based and tactical FPS experience where each match is different, with game-changing events and extensive adrenaline-fueled shooter battles. The game will have you face off against multiple other teams in a 3 vs 3 vs 3 vs 3. That's a lot of threes, as you need to fight to claim the battleground and survive with the best loot that you can find. Each match will be completely different to the last. The landscape is ever changing. Extraction points will always be in a different location, and monsters you fight might seem slightly different each time you bump into them. This could change the shooter's genre massively. Each new shooter will have maps that are always the same, but imagine one where there'll be no camping, as the spot might just not exist in the next one. It sounds like heaven. The fashion is going to be killer. You'll be able to customize your character in a whole manner of 80s gear that will have you busting more than just moves in this war zone. It's a nice little fun side to a genre that's normally more serious. Following on, we have a game that has been out for a little while now. This is Witch Rise, a first-person dungeon crawler shooter that puts you in the shoes of a young girl who has been turned into a pig by an evil witch. You'll need to travel the land and overcome great hardships to hopefully rid yourself of the curse. The dungeons you'll be travelling through will be teeming with enemies that are trying to stop you getting to your goal. Take them down with any weapons you find along the way, as you try not to think about becoming bacon should you fail. Witch Rise currently sits at 100% on Steam. Now it does have a low review count, but the fact that all the people have positive feedback to give is crazy. If you're a fan of shooters and all things magical, I think this one should magically appear in your car round about now. Knights of Grayfang is the next game, and will have just been released by the time this video is released. Knights of Grayfang is a vampire RPG set in a war between the Twilight vampires and the Nightfall monster factions. You'll need to travel around to conquer the 9 temples in the land to truly unlock the hidden potential inside of you. Combat has taken inspiration from the Final Fantasy JRPGs of old, with the pixel graphics and battles with you on one side and enemies on the other. Use your unique abilities that only a vampire can wield, in which you can lifesteal from enemies. Use bats to give you passive buffs during the battle. I'm a huge fan of old school JRPGs. I love walking around the overworld of the map and not knowing when you're going to get attacked. I have high hopes for Knights of Grayfang, and hopefully it takes a bite out of any competition. This game has been released on Steam and Switch for a while, but it is now getting a release on the other consoles. This is Hidden Through Time 2, Myths and Magic, a wholesome hidden object puzzle game that will have you searching for hidden objects scattered around hand-drawn worlds, and unlocking more as you go, with both a single player campaign and an online mode where you can create your own dreamland. The adventure will never end. Set out on a journey through 4 magical eras, discovering all the items hidden within. Find objects to advance through to the next stages and explore the storyline of each era. Master the power of time with the brand new reality shift feature, adding an extra dimension to your hidden object experience. This is a wholesome adventure through time and allows you to explore and enjoy the ride at your own pace. I'll be giving this one a whirl when it comes out on PlayStation. Final game on the list is Friends vs Friends' latest DLC, Nerdvana. The DLC is adding a new shop to the town, Nerdvana Comics, that will sell all new and exclusive items that will help you overcome any hardship and take down your friends. New cards, quests and more have been added to the game. Friends vs Friends was originally released in May 2023 and has a rather successful year so far, with over 6,000 reviews on Steam and counting. The game is an online PvP that combines combat and deck building that will have you in 1 vs 1 or 2 vs 2 battles to take down your friends and prove to them once and for all that you're the better gamer. The game is frequently updated to ensure that it's fairly balanced and adds new items each time it does, so I can see this game still getting a lot of support in the future. That's all the latest game trailers for this week. Lots of upcoming games, but a few that we can play right now. Many thanks for watching until the end, and I'll catch you all next time.